Hello and welcome to the Wichita Art Museum. I'm Matt Buckingham, Curator of Education. Not sure what a curator is? Well, today we're going to explore careers, find out what a curator is and many other jobs here at the museum. Come along with us as we explore careers here at the Wichita Art Museum.
Hi, my name's Lily Jo, and I work here at the Art Museum at the Welcome Desk. I greet people, I check people in so they can go through the gallery. I tell them about the exhibitions, I talk about the Chihuly Bridge, and I do sing to people. I sing birthday songs to people who are celebrating their birthday. And here come some people right now. So I'm going to greet them and talk to them about the Art Museum.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I am the Museum Store Manager at the Wichita Art Museum. My role here as Museum Store Manager is to buy and curate everything you see in the store. We carry everything from books, jewelry, art prints from our collection, and toys. My favorite part about my job is being able to shop for a living. I get to buy all the great merchandise that you see, and it creates memories. So when you go home with your special gift, you always think about the Wichita Art Museum.
Hi kids, I'm Sherry Holdeman. I'm the event coordinator at the Wichita Art Museum. My job is to assist people who want to have a special event at the Art Museum. A special event like an anniversary or a wedding reception, birthday, some fun event like that. Business events too, lunches, dinners, all kinds of events. My favorite job is to assist people with their really fun events. I get to be present to work on floor plans for the event. I do glamorous things like moving around furniture and taking out trash sometimes, to helping brides get ready for a photo. So my job has a lot of diversity to it, and I love my job at the Art Museum.
Hi folks, my name is Ryan. I work here at the Wichita Art Museum. My official job title is Gallery Attendant Coordinator, but what I really do is I do security work. It's my job to make sure that the art on the walls and our visitors that come in are nice and safe. And I have many different tools to do that. I've got lots of different keys here that open lots of different doors. I've got my walkie-talkie right here that I use to make sure I can communicate with all my other guards and coworkers. They make noises like this, and like this. I do that to make sure I can talk to anybody in any part of the building I want at any given time, so we can make sure there are no problems at all. I spend a lot of my days walking around and spending time with the art, looking at the art, and making sure that it is safe and protected. It is also part of my job to make sure people obey and have museum manners, which means people are not allowed to touch the art. In addition to that, one other thing I make sure is I make sure nobody's running in the galleries. Running is very unsafe. And one other important aspect of my job is if you have any questions at all, come ask me or someone who's wearing the same uniform as me. If you have a question about the art, if you need to know where the restroom is, if you want to know where the playroom is, which we call the living room, we'll be glad to tell you and show you your way. I also spent a lot of time in another area of the building watching all the cameras. Every single part of this building is on camera. If I had to pick one thing I like most about working at the museum, it's my coworkers. They're like my friends to me. I'm happy to see them every day. I'm always happy to get to talk with them. The museum is a wonderful place to work, and I'm glad I'm here. I've been here almost 6 years, and I'm looking forward to working here as 6 more and 6 more after that. I look forward to seeing you come to the museum here soon. Remember, Saturdays are free from 10 to 5.
Hello everybody, my name is Tara-Lee Hedrick and I am the curator at the Wichita Art Museum, which is absolutely the best job at the Wichita Art Museum and maybe the best job in town. So I recommend everyone do it. But it is a job that not everybody knows what it is that I do, and even the word is kind of silly or funny, curator, and the word means to care for. It's a fancy word for caring for something, and so the idea is is that I am the person at the museum who thinks about caring for all the art that we have here. And that doesn't just mean that things are, I make sure that things are cared for physically, but that I also care for them in terms of love and intellect, and I learn about them and I share them with the world. And that's the way that I care for them. And that indeed is my job. So I get to do all kinds of awesome things with art at the museum. And the first thing that I get to do is I am involved in and I lead all of our new acquisitions. And acquisitions is a fancy word for, acquiring new art that comes into the collection. And at WAM today, we have just over 10,000 artworks in the collection. And since I started my job here 4 years ago, we've probably acquired 500 or 600 works of art, and so I've been able to be part of picking those out and choosing them and learning about them and getting them all set up to be in the collection and on view for the public. So then once we have artwork in the collection, then I just get to go through it and I get to choose and I get to kind of go shopping in terms of everything that we have, all those 10,000 objects, and I get to decide with my boss and with other people at the museum and sometimes input from the community what people would like to see and what we would like to put on view. And that's incredible. And so we take art from the collection and we put it on view so that people can come see it and they can enjoy it. And we also choose things to go together. And when you choose those things to go together, like if you're in this gallery right now, we put things next to each other so that that art can maybe have a conversation. And that sounds like a silly thing, right? Art isn't an animate object, right? It's not a person, it's not a real person doing anything. But if we put 2 or 3 or 4 works of art together and then we bring someone in to look at them and we talk about why we put them together, then sometimes that can spark a conversation, that can spark a learning, that can change the way somebody feels about themselves or their life or others or the past or the future, all of these big things that we hope art is doing. So again, I get to be the chooser person. And then if you come to the Wichita Art Museum, you'll also see that we often borrow artwork from other museums, and we bring that artwork into the museum as well, so that we can look at that and we can experience something that doesn't live all the time in Wichita. Again, other kinds of art that we don't own or that we don't have access to, then we can bring that here for our Wichita viewers. And that's another thing that I get to do as a curator, is help bring that art here and bring those shows here and bring, the fancy word is an exhibition. When we put different artworks together, we call that an exhibition. So from the beginning of the process, acquiring things and then thinking about and learning about things that we've had at the Wichita Art Museum long before me and getting those things out and putting them on the wall, and then bringing things here that we don't own but that belong to other museums for exhibitions. Those are the 3 major pieces of my job. So again, curator, it's really, really wonderful. So if you love art and you love history and you love thinking about what an artwork says about who made it or who saw it or what was happening in the world when it was made, then perhaps being an art museum curator is for you.
Hi, I'm Emma Gerton. I am the interim registrar here at the Wichita Art Museum. So my day-to-day is kind of acting as the manager / doctor of art, kind of. So I oversee all of the stuff that comes in and all of the stuff that comes out, make sure that it's labeled correctly, make sure that we know where it is and we can find it so that we can show it. So one of the things that we just got in that I'm working on is this lithograph. We just purchased it. It is the Farmer. It's from 1937, and I do make little files for every single piece so we can keep all of that work together and you don't have to run around looking for anything. So what I do is I basically look at the artwork, see what kind of condition it is in when we get it in, measure it, make sure we have the right places to put it for storage, and then I enter it into our database so that it's both in records on hard copy and in records on our computer system. So after I finish looking at this, I will put it into one of our vaults and then it can be shown later on. This job is super cool. I love it. I've been here working as an intern for years, and so I clearly have really just enjoyed it. I get to work with the art and see it all before it goes up on show. And honestly, I know this is a no-no in a museum, but I really love my job because I get to touch all of it with gloves, of course. But I get to touch all of the art, and it's just very exciting for me to see kind of the process from before it goes up on view to what happens.
Hello, my name's Kirk Eck. I'm the manager of imaging and installation here at the Wichita Art Museum. One of the things I do here is photograph the collection for documentation, for advertising. We do a lot of textbooks, so you might have seen some of our images in school textbooks. We do a lot of that. And I also oversee all the installations in the galleries, so I work with the Preparator on designing shows and hanging shows in the galleries and make sure everything's correct. My favorite part of the job would be working with the art and, even photographing or just dealing with the art, because, I love art. When I was little, I came to this museum, in a school group, and I always wanted to work here, and I was just intrigued with the art. And so and here I am now, 100 years later, working at the museum. It's just pretty great.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Williams. I'm the Preparator at the Wichita Art Museum. One of the biggest facets of my job really is problem solving, and it's a lot of hands-on physical work it's a lot of fun because you can work directly with the museum objects. You work with a great team that is both research-based with curatorial and also fun hands-on kind of building with a crew of preps, essentially. My job includes things both for prepping objects to be on view and prepping objects to be safe in storage. The premise of the job is to make things look beautiful on display and safe. Some of the job tasks that I do are building shelves or pedestals. I also mat and frame. So when you mat an object, you would put it in mat board so it looks very beautiful for display. It not only looks nice, but it's protecting the object. A lot of it is computer work as well. So design layout, you lay out labels, you're printing vinyl, you're doing all the hands-on skills and tasks that you see of all the prep in the gallery. So that also includes painting the gallery, finishing the walls, displaying the art, so hanging the art up on the wall. It also involves a lot of, with our traveling shows, we're loading and unloading art objects off the truck. That's hands-on, massive crates you're taking off the truck with a team. The favorite part of my job is when we do team installs, and it's a lot of problem solving and working with people outside the museum and inside the museum to really put on the show. So that week or two of intense install where we're getting all the art out and putting it up and seeing the show come together is really one of my favorite parts.
Hello, I'm Peter Shoemaker. I'm the facility supervisor here at the Wichita Art Museum. I coordinate with the city on keeping all of the building and its grounds clean and running perfectly. Well, come with me and I'll take you to someplace new and exciting. And here we are in one of 4 of our mechanical rooms. These rooms house all of the equipment that helps keep our building at a mild and comfortable temperature year-round. I am responsible for helping to maintain these systems and to coordinate with the city to make sure that they are all up and running at peak efficiency throughout the year and the seasons. And my favorite part about my job is not having to sit behind a desk all day. I get to move about these buildings and the grounds.
Hi, my name's Teresa Veazey. I'm the Public Relations Manager here at the Wichita Art Museum. I think I have the best job at the museum. And do you want to know why? My main job is to get you inside the Wichita Art Museum. That's what the Public Relations Manager does. Public, meaning, of course, public. Relations, meaning all those things that encourage people to come into the museum, whether it's for an event, do they want to come see an exhibition, are they here to just have lunch in the cafe, or have they come to shop in the museum store? And manager, well, the Public Relations Manager, I do a lot for the museum. I do a lot to make you want to come here and see what we have. That includes social media such as Instagram, Facebook. Someone has to make those posts. Someone has to take those pictures. That's my job. It includes the website, making sure that it's updated so that you ask, what's going on at the museum today? You can go to our website and find out. All of the print material here at the museum, and boy, we have lots of it. All of our postcards, all of our newsletters, that's my job too. Now, I don't have to write everything in the newsletter or take all the photos for the newsletter, but I've got to get the information together to get it to someone to design, get it printed, and then mail it out so that maybe you can get a newsletter or a postcard from the Art Museum and know what's happening here. What else do I do? Well, a lot of this. I go on television and talk about all the great things we have going on at the Wichita Art Museum. I talk to the newspaper, the Wichita Eagle. I talk to the radio station, KMUW. Anything that I can do to get you to come to the Art Museum is what I want to do. Because the Art Museum's great. We have a lot of things here, not just art on the walls, but activities for you to participate in. When I think about my favorite thing, the best thing I do here at the Wichita Art Museum, the thing that makes me so excited, is getting to meet people like you. Getting to meet visitors who come in the door for the very first time, see a work of art on the wall, and go, wow, I am amazed. Getting to meet new people every day, some for the very first time in an art museum, that's the best part of my job. And do you need another reason to visit? Guess what? Admission on Saturdays is free. Yes, free. Remember that, free. Free admission at the Wichita Art Museum on Saturday. So you can attend, bring your friends, bring your family. Everybody gets in free to the Wichita Art Museum on Saturday. So if you've never been here before, what's your excuse? Come to the Wichita Art Museum and see what we have for you.
Hello again. I hope you're enjoying your tour. I am the education curator here at the museum. So an education curator has many jobs, but really, let's think about that for a minute. Curating means that you're making choices. So an education curator is someone who makes choices all about learning opportunities here at the museum. So if you're coming to the museum to take a school tour, we're planning and designing those tours. I help work with our docents who are the tour leaders that will guide you through the museum. So we have classes for them so that they can learn about the artwork and share some of that with you when you're on tour. We also do all kinds of other educational opportunities like art making, family days, many different kinds of events that happen here at the museum. We have community partnerships that I help plan and develop where musicians come in and play music in one of our beautiful spaces here at the museum. Sometimes we have actors and other performers come and perform around the artwork. We have events that happen out in the art garden for the public. So all of these things are things that the curator of education helps plan and figure out so that the community can come to the museum and enjoy the artwork, but also enjoy lots of different ways of experiencing the work and learning from the work. One of my favorite things about being an education curator is being able to work with all the different kinds of people. It's always very fun and exciting to see the light bulbs going off with kids as they're learning about a new thing here in the museum or having a chance to make something. And it's fun working with the adults as well, because many times they have opportunities to experience things at the museum that they hadn't thought of before. So it's very exciting to be a part of that process and help people learn and grow.
Hi, my name is Arian, and I work in the education department with awesome people. The thing I really love about my job is that we get to put our brains together and come up with some really fun things for you to do while you're visiting the art museum. There are many ways you can come visit the art museum. One way is maybe you came with a school group on a tour. So my job is to help schedule those tours. So you might come to the art museum for a special art making day on the fourth Saturday of every month. We call those our art ventures. And it's part of my job to help create those activities. And then you might come during the summer months, and we run special camp sessions for kids that are interested in not only looking at art and thinking about art, but making art of their own. So what I love best about my job is interacting with the public, because you never know what you might learn when you're here at the art museum, and that's our job. We want you to walk away learning something about what you might see, and maybe something about the world or yourself.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm one of the educators here at the Art Museum. My job is to assist the other two educators with various programs that we run here. I'm also in charge of our Art Start program here, and our Art Start is our preschool program, which gets kids into the museum at a really young age, which is super important. And it's kind of fostering confidence in looking at and talking about art, because no one's opinions on art are wrong. And just kind of bringing them in for sort of early art exposure and creativity. My favorite part of my job is hearing what all these little kids have to say about art. There's lots of really fun interpretations that kids have, and it makes me look at the artwork in a whole new way.
Hi, I'm Courtney Carson, Director of Development for the museum. Development, that means money, fundraising, and membership, and special events. This is one of our donation boxes. So I don't know if you've ever thought about if you put some coins or some dollar bills into a donation box, where does that money go? Money from donations and membership and special events helps our programs at the Art Museum, helps us bring school buses to the museum, helps us bring kids for camp and put on programs. My favorite part of my job is talking to people. I really enjoy spending time with members and guests and patrons. I have kids, and we love coming to the museum to do fun programs. The Art Disco is our favorite, I think, family monthly art venture. And I have a degree in English, and so I like to write, and that's a lot of my job, is writing letters, writing grants, writing membership invitations to patrons to help us support the museum.
Hi, I'm Patricia McDonald, Director of the Wichita Art Museum, and I want to tell you some things about my life in art museums and here at the Wichita Art Museum. So I'm kind of one of the lucky people who knew from a really early age. I figured out in college that I wanted to work in art museums. Kind of a strange or unusual job or profession. It's a little rare. Not a lawyer, not a banker, not someone who works in a restaurant. And it's hard to get a job in museums, interestingly. And the way that worked for me, I was part of a family who went to museums, so I already had the idea that, gosh, this would be cool, super cool. And I was in college, and I just walked myself into the gallery that was there in my college and asked for a job. And they put me to work. My very first job was painting the walls in an art gallery. And then the next job I had, I was answering phones in an art gallery. And then I was doing other kind of paperwork. And I did this and I did that. And ultimately, I went for more school after college. And I now have a doctorate in art history. So for a long, long time before I was the director, I was a curator. I decided to become the director. So, director, gosh, that's a big, big job. I'm not in charge of everything, but I'm responsible for everything. There's a difference. I work with amazing people. That's part of the cool thing about working in an art museum. I work with so many different kinds of people, from board members, those are the people who help lead the organization, to this cool staff that are here, curators and people who hang the art and people who greet the visitors and people in the store, and education people, lots of fun, different staff. But artists who are part of shows that we have here at the Art Museum. And our artists are such interesting people, but also visitors and art collectors and patrons and art lovers. Just so many different kind of people. That's the best part of my job. Now you might think that since I got all this training in art and I learned to really look at it and think about it, that the special and most important part to me for my job would be the art. It's really important, but it's not the most important thing ultimately to me personally. It's how I get to meet with so many different interesting people and the conversations that we get to have about art. So it's really the people that make all the difference in the job that I have as director of the Wichita Art Museum.